Hey everyone, I've been asked to do a very basic Audacity tutorial. I am by no means an expert with this program. I primarily use it to record. I haven't been able to really wrap my head around how to edit it or how to edit with Audacity, so I'm not even going to try to show you because I tried recording this before and it just failed. Essentially though, making recordings and saving them is really easy. And that's about all that I use this for. There are, of course, many other functions that you can do. You can make, you can use different tracks. So like if you're making projects, say that have like music, you could put music on one track and your voice on the other. And that way you could apply different effects to different tracks and it wouldn't impact the entire recording. I don't really know how to work with that stuff because the stuff I primarily want to record is just, I usually do it in one go. And if I have to edit anything out, it's usually a very tiny portion of audio, or I'll just pause the recording before something happens. So this will be a very basic tutorial, as I said. Editing I prefer to do in Goldwave because I think it makes a lot more logical sense to me. But anyway, let's get started. So I'm in Audacity. I've got my MacBook Air plugged in here. If I hit the letter R, generally the first time you come in here, it will say track 1, row not selected or something like that. It doesn't seem to do that if you have recorded previously and then want to record again. So to record, I'm just going to hit R. This is a test recording on my Air. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
4:12 p.m.
It's just picking up my voice right now with the microphone. Now to pause, you can hit P. And I can say things like, these people are terrible, they don't pay me anything, and they ask me to do all this stuff. It's terrible. Bunch of ungrateful, yeah, well, anyway, you get the idea, right? To resume recording, you hit P, and we're back. My embarrassing comment wasn't captured in this recording, and I'm going to stop now. To stop, you hit the space bar.
Track view table, track 1, selected row.
All right, this is the track view table. You can arrow up and down between tracks, hit enter to select or deselect them, but I don't know how to do that. Like I said, I primarily use this as a recorder, and for that purpose, it works really, really well. I haven't been able to figure out how Goldwave does its audio recording because there's like multiple keystrokes that you can hit that apparently do different things. It's very confusing. I should probably go read the manual. Actually, I should probably go read the manual for both of these products. But anyway, to play the recording, I hit the space bar. This is a test recording on my Air. Testing, 1, 2, 3. It's just picking up my voice right now with the microphone. Now to pause, you can hit P. And we're back. My embarrassing comment wasn't captured in this recording. And I'm going to stop now. To stop, you hit the space bar. And that's the recording. If you hit the space bar while it's playing, the recording will stop. And you'll have to restart it. So if I hit the space bar, this is a test recording. Then space bar again. This is a test. It starts over. You can hit X, which will, I believe, move the playback position to the current position in the track and stop. This is a test. So hit X right there, and then hit the space bar. Recording on my Air. And then if I hit X again. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. It's just picking up my... Yeah, so every time you hit X, it moves your playback position to where you are in the file. That way, if you hit the spacebar to play pause, it'll start and stop from where you last saved it. Left and right arrows move through the recording. 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. You do have a zoom level. I believe if you zoom in, hitting the left and right keys will make you jump back and forward by very small increments, which is handy if you're trying to edit and you're trying to take out something really specific. Again, though, I don't know how to edit really with this program, so I don't even bother. But you can zoom in or you can zoom out, which zooming out makes the time larger. So if you have a longer file, it will seek back and forward by a larger amount of time. But that's about all that I know in terms of playback. Now, if I want to save this, I'm going to go to the file menu.
File sub, new control plus N, open, recent, close, save project sub menu S.
If you just hit Control S, it will save this as an Audacity project, presumably so that you can come back in here and edit it. What most people want to do, though, is probably save it as an audio file.
Export sub menu E.
So if you go to the Export menu.
Export menu. Export as MP3.
You can export as multiple formats. I'm just going to choose MP3.
Export audio dialog file name.
This is a standard dialog box in Windows. We're just going to call it test.
Save as type. Combo box MP. Save button. Quality preset radio button checked.
This lets you set what
variable radio button. Quality combo box 172, 155, 145, 110, 195, 135 kbps. Joint stereo radio button checked. Variable radio button checked.
These settings let you change the quality and the bit rate that you want it to be saved at.
Average radio button checked.
Let's see if we go to average.
160 kbps, 144, 128 kbps.
This is probably what most people would want. If you record at 128K in stereo, it makes pretty tiny files.
Average radio button, constant radio.
You can set it to constant bit rate.
Quality 200, 190, 160, 140, 128 kbps.
I'm not an expert when it comes to audio. What I can tell you, though, is if you're going to do this, and this applies generally, which I wish I had known 8, 9, 10 years ago when I was starting to mess with this stuff. If you continuously save in a lossy format like MP3, which applies compression to your files, if you continuously save to the same file format and the same file, it will degrade the audio, which is why a few of my older projects had a weird quality to them, because at the time I didn't know that I should be saving constantly to something like WAV, which is uncompressed. So just keep that in mind. Generally, when you're working on something, save it in an uncompressed format like WAV until you're done producing it, and then when you're ready to give it to people and you don't want them to have to download a giant file, then you can save it as an MP3. Generally 128K works just fine. 128K either in stereo or mono, depending on what you're doing. But basically, once you make these changes...
Joint stereo radio button checked.
Joint stereo...
Stereo radio button checked.
Oh, yeah, and then you have this group of radio buttons after the quality. I'm not sure what joint stereo is. Again, just... like I said, I'm probably not the best person to give you a tutorial on how this works. If I tab again...
Force export to mono checkbox not checked.
This will force your recording to export to mono, even if it was in stereo, so just keep that in mind.
Help button. Save in. Combo box Audacity collapsed Alt plus I.
There's a help button, and then you get the save in box where you can choose a folder.
Save button Alt plus S.
Shift tab to save.
Warning dialog. A file named C. Users cry. No but. Yes button Alt plus Y.
It's telling me the file already exists. I'm going to hit enter to overwrite
Edit metadata tags dialog. Use arrow keys or enter key after editing to navigate fields.
This is the area where you can edit metadata. Things like the artist name, album name, year, track. I don't care. I'm just going to hit enter.
Audacity. Track view table.
And it saves my file. I can verify that by going into my documents.
File Explorer. Items. Audacity. Items view list. Select test.mp3.
Let's open it in VLC.
VLC.
This is a test recording on my Air. And there's the file playing in VLC.
Audacity. Track view table.
Alright, I'm going to do Control A to highlight the entire document and hit delete to get rid of it. If I hit the space bar, there's nothing there. The other thing I want to show you, the last thing in relation to recording, because this might be of interest to people who don't have, who don't have, say, a hardware mixer or special software like VB cable or virtual audio cable. This allows you to directly record audio coming from your sound card and or microphone. If I go into the preferences in Audacity with Control P.
Preferences, devices dialog using port audio V19.
Okay, I'm gonna skip that. There's a lot of stuff in here. I'm not gonna go over it because a lot of it I don't know what it does. I don't really care. Basically, though, the first category you're put on is devices. If you tab
interface grouping, host, combo box Windows Ways app I collapsed Alt plus H.
To make this work properly, make sure that this is set to Windows Wasapi, Windows WAS API. I believe that stands for Windows Audio Session API. This, to my knowledge, it was something added in Vista, and I think at this point everyone should probably be running at least Vista. I'm running Windows 10, or no, actually I'm running Windows 11 on this MacBook Air, so it definitely works. But basically what this does is it lets you capture audio from your playback devices. So if I tab
Playback grouping, device, combo box headphones, Cirrus Logic CS4208 of 114, collapsed Alt.
This is the playback device. This is where you can listen to your files. So if you want your playback to come through a different sound card or a different device, you'd want to set that here.
Recording grouping, device, combo box internal microphone.
Right now, this is set to my internal microphone. To make this work,
speakers, headphones, Cirrus Logic CS4208 of 114, loopback.
You would want to move to the name of your audio device. I don't know what that could be, depends on your computer. Usually it's something like high definition audio, Realtek, anything like that. The important thing is it needs to say loopback. Because of the way that Boot Camp works here on my Mac, it treats the headphones and the speakers as two different devices. So it's very important, at least in my case, and I would say in your case as well, if you have multiple sound devices, choose the appropriate device where the audio is coming out of. Because if you choose the wrong one and no audio is playing through it, then obviously when you record, you won't hear anything. So I've chosen that. I hit enter to save my changes. And if I start recording and do things like check the time,
4:25 p.m.
Go to the
window.
Start menu,
Audacity.
go back to Audacity, hit the space bar to stop.
Track.
Let's play this.
4:25 p.m. Start window. Audacity. 4:25 p.m.
Yeah, so that's how you capture your computer audio. It basically captures everything.
Track.
Now, it doesn't capture your microphone. If you want to do that, you need to go to the sound control panel. So you'd open up the control panel, go to sound. On the recording tab, find your microphone, choose properties, and then go to the listen tab and check the box that says listen to this device. You want to then choose the playback device that you'll hear it through. Most people probably just have it set to the default playback device, and make sure that you're wearing headphones, because what this will do is basically mean that your audio from your headphones is, or the audio from your microphone is being sent through your headphones or speakers, and obviously you'll have to listen to it, and if you're using speakers it will loop like crazy and it'll be bad for you. Let me show you how this works here.
Run dial.
I'm going to do this the quick way, so if I just type in mmsys.cpl,
Tech desk sound dialog.
and then I go to the recording tab,
Recording property page.
control tab,
OK button. Record. Internal microphone. Properties button Alt plus P. Press.
Go to properties.
Internal tab. Listen tab select. Property page. You can listen. Listen to this device. Checkbox focused not checked.
Okay, I'm going to check that box.
Checked.
There's a bunch of text here, but I'm going to skip it.
Playback through this device. Combo box default playback device collapsed.
And then if I tab,
Power management grouping. Continue running when on battery power radio button checked. Disable automatically to save power radio. Continue.
you can choose different options if you're on a laptop.
OK.
I'm just going to hit enter here.
Sound dialog.
And what you'll immediately notice is that there are two of me. One coming from the microphone on the mixer, my Shure microphone. The other is the MacBook Air.
OK.
I'm going to leave this open,
And
let's do a test recording. This is a test. You can hear me. I will now check the time on the computer.
4:28 p.m.
And there you go. Now to stop, hit the space bar.
Track.
Alright, let's go back in here.
Recording property. Selector microphone. Internal microphone. Microphone. Cirrus Logic.
That's another microphone that's not plugged in. I think that one's for the audio jack.
Config. Proper. Press. Tab. Listen. Listen. Not checked.
I'm going to uncheck the listen box
Sound.
and hit enter.
OK. Audacity.
And let's play this recording. This is a test. You can hear me. I will now check the time on the computer.
4:28 p.m.
And there you go. Now to stop, hit the space bar. And there you go. So that's basically how you can record yourself and your computer using just Audacity. And you don't need any kind of hardware mixers or software to create virtual audio devices. Although I will say, if you can set that stuff up and you have a bunch of inputs, it's actually quite cool, because I forget when they added this, but in one of the updates to Windows 10, I think it was sometime in 2018, Microsoft actually added the ability under sound settings to customize the audio on a program by program basis. So not only can you change the volume for each program independently, but you can now choose the input device and the output device, which is really cool, because if you have the right setup, either in hardware or in software, you could tell Windows to send different things to different places. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm recording a game, or I'm recording something off the internet, and I want the recording and the recording only to go through. So you could tell Windows to send, I don't know, the audio from your browser through a specific sound device, come into Audacity or any audio program that will support the method of capturing audio that I just showed you, which is built into Windows. And you could start it capturing, and you could be doing other things on your computer, and it would only capture that particular source. It's pretty cool. It's a little complicated to set up. Definitely not as intuitive as something like Loopback on Mac OS, which I really wish they would bring that to Windows, because that is a really cool program. Basically, it lets you set up as many virtual audio devices as you want with different configurations, and you can combine all kinds of things. Like maybe you want audio from different apps to go through, and then maybe you want mixers to go through, or other hardware devices like microphones. You can do that, and it saves it all, and then in the programs that you want to capture, you just choose the device you made. You can do the same thing in Windows with something like VAC, but it requires a little more work, and I think it would be really great if Loopback were to be made for Windows, but they don't seem interested in making software for Windows. Anyway, I'm rambling. Hopefully you found this useful. This is not a comprehensive tutorial. This is just how I use the program. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. And I don't know, I might be doing some more tutorials like this. Because someone asked me how I convert stuff to video. Basically, in Audacity, I save the files as WAV and then convert them in macOS using Adapter. But I need to figure out how to do the same thing in Windows. But once I do, I'll definitely be putting together a tutorial, because I think it would help people. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Take care.